Hi friends, welcome back to API tutorial with Laravel 8. Today we will going to learn about Laravel passport authentication. Last day we discussed about Laravel sanctum. Basically this was also a authentication technique mainly for a single page application or mobile token or API token purpose. Okay, so if your application is absolutely needs a support of OAuth2, then you should learn Laravel passport. Okay, so first we need to know what is OAuth2. Basically, OAuth is an open standard authorization protocol, or you can say framework, that describes how unrelated servers and service can safely allow authenticated access to their assets without actually sharing the login credential. Okay, so here client sending a request to the resource owner to grant the access, and resource owner is the only app, or you can say application or medium, that can authenticate you. Then the response comes authorization server through the client, and it generates a access token. Okay, so basically this is checking the authorization and granting your request, and finally this token is using to access your application. Okay, so this is the resource server, finally it is accessing. So this is the auth2 flow, and Laravel passport follow this rule. Okay, so let's install passport to your application first. Okay, so to install, go to the terminal. So here is my project, that is Laravel API tutorial, and install Laravel passport with the composer. So right here composer require and use the Laravel /passport. Okay, so just enter this. So this will take some time to install the Laravel passport in your application. So when passport is requesting to your application, it is creating its own database migration directory with own framework. So we need to migrate our database after the installation. So basically this is installing the 10.1 version of Laravel passport, and its composition has been updated, and it's updating all the dependencies required to your application. So Laravel passport installed in your application, and the package manifest generated successfully. So there is also generate some migration file, and we need to migrate those file. So just before that, go to the database and check. So this is my database table, and here is my users table. So basically if we check our project directory in the database section, and there is a migration. So here, so some migrations are generated. So let's migrate this first. So to migrate, we need to use php artisan migrate. Okay, so the create auth access token table, and there is another table, this is access token tables and refresh token tables, and there is client table. So basically this 4-5 tables are created, and so go to the database and refresh. So we have installed all the table related to passport. So all the database is ready, and the package manifested generated successfully. So now we need to install the passport in your application. So write php artisan passport, okay, and colon install. Okay, so using this command the passport will install in your application. So the client 1, that is secret key generated, the password grant client created, and the second client id 2, the client secret id also generated. So passport is installed in your application. So basically this will create the encryption key to generate a secure access token, and also it will create a personal access and password grant clients. Okay, so which will be used to generate access tokens. Okay, so now I want to use the passport in our user model. So basically user model is the by default model we will get when you install the Laravel. So just go to the app and inside the models we have the user model. So here we'll add the passport trait into our user model. So I just write use Laravel slash passport slash has API token. Okay, and use this token for user model. So just write here and comma. Okay, so now we need to call the passport from our boot. So just go to the app, and inside the app we will get the providers. So there is a auth service provider. So write use Laravel slash passport slash passport. Okay, and let's call inside the boot. So right here the passport double colon routes. Okay, now our auth service provider is set. So now we need to change the API driver. So just go to the config. So here you will get the config, and there is a auth.php. So here we will use the guard. So basically we are using the API. We need to write the driver name equal to passport. Okay, and we don't need this, so just close this. So now I will create a controller and we'll use this authentication from there. Okay, so suppose the model is user, so I am creating the controller, that is user controller. So write php artisan make controller. Suppose my controller name is user controller. Okay, so just enter this. So controller created successfully. So just go to the project directory and refresh this. So http controllers, and we'll get the user controller. Okay, so just use the authentication. So first we'll include illuminate slash support slash facets slash auth. Okay, and we will access the user model. So use app models, and name of the model is user. Okay, and we'll use the validator also. So right here the validator. So validator. Okay, so here we will also check if the request is valid, then only we will process, otherwise it will go through to the unauthorized page. Okay, so basically the model is the user model. So go to this model. So I am using the app models and user. Okay, so here we'll create two functions, basically one for registration and one for login. Okay, so just create two functions, that is public function. First we'll add the registration. Okay, and next we'll add the login function. Okay, public function login. Okay, and we'll call these two functions from the routes. So basically here we will use the API routes for API related purpose. So go to the routes and call the api.php. So first we include the controller namespace. So basically the controller traits. So just write app http controllers, and name of the controller, that is user controller. Okay, so U is caps, so user controller. Okay, and we'll call these two functions from this route. So just create two function, that is route colon get, sorry, it will be post for registration purpose. So here we'll write the register, and the controller name is user controller. So just copy from here, and then colon class, and after that name of the method. So the method name is registration. Okay, and we'll call another routes for login. So just write login, and the method name is login. Okay, so I want to create another routes for login, and it will be the get purpose, because when the unauthorized user will going to access, so basically it will redirect to the main login page, which are this login. Okay, so route is set. Now write the registration functions. Okay, so basically it will use the request as $request, and here we'll call the validator first, because we are using the validator class. So we'll first check the validation. So I am taking a validation variable, and inside the validation variable we'll call the validator class. Okay, and we'll make the validation. Okay, so I'll create a array. So first we'll take all the request, that is $request arrow all, and will validate all those things from this request. So here I will add the validation for users table, that is name, email and password. Okay, so right here name, and name is require, and same like email is also require, but email should be email type, and that means valid email. And the password is also required, and I will use the confirm password, that is C password. Okay, so basically we will validate the main password and confirm password should be same. So we need to write another pipe and use the same as the password. Okay, so my validation rule is added, and now I will check if the validation fails. Okay, so $validation fails, then it will writes a error, or it will throw a simple validation message. Okay, so just write the return response, and we'll pass the JSON response, that is $validation, and we'll throw the errors. Okay, so right here errors, and after that we'll send the error code, that is 202. Okay, and if all are okay, then we'll take this into the variable, that is all data. Okay, and we'll take all request, that is request all. Okay, and after that we will insert into the user table. So basically we will use bcrypt encryption for password. So just use the all data password equal to bcrypt, that is bcrypt, bcrypt, and the all data password. Okay, so I'm just changing the password into the database format. Okay, and others are okay. So just take the user model. So I'm taking a variable for user model, that is user, and calling the user model, that is user model, and we'll call the create method. Okay, and we'll pass all the data. Okay, after that we will create a response array, so that is res array. So basically this is the array, and using this third bracket we will initialize the array. So use this response array to generate a token, and we'll use this for our future purpose. So just raise an array and we'll create token. So basically I am create token. So how we can create token? So just call the user and create token. Okay, so basically create token method will generate a token. Suppose I am creating anything that is API application. Okay, and after that the access token. Okay, ACCE access token, right? So now I need to pass the username into this. So just write user array and write the name. So basically the name is in the user, so user arrow name. Okay, and just return the response. Okay, so right here return response arrow, and will pass the JSON type response. Okay, so just pass the response array and the response code is 200. Okay, so registration process is complete, and I will create another function for login. So write the login function. So the login function is simple, so just write request $request. Okay, and we'll write if the auth attempt is true, means we'll write the auth colon attempt, that is attempt will use to log in to the Laravel application, and inside the attempt we will take the email and password which we'll get from the passport. So I will create an array. So inside the array we'll write email. So basically email will get from the request, so we'll write the request email and we'll check another, that is password. Okay, so basically for login we'll use the email and password. So right here request password. Okay, so now if the user equal to auth colon user, then we'll create a response array like previous. So write response array and just copy from the previous. So here write these things. So response array, that is response array token, let's create token and the name, and after that return. Okay, so just paste it here, return response, all those things. And if the authentication fails, then else write the unauthorized. Okay, so just copy from here and write the error message. Okay, so write a JSON array, that is error, and we'll write unauthorization, or you can say unauthorized access, and pass the status code 203. Okay, so my login and registration functions is ready. So now go to the Postman and check. So here is my Postman. So I am creating a request. So first we will register, so we'll create the post type. Okay, and here is the URL, that is 127.0.0.1 :8000, and after that the API. So after that we will use this. Okay, so we'll use the register, and here we will use the validation. So just click on send and it will respond, that is the name field is required, password is required, and confirm password requires. So why not email validation showing? So just go to the function, show, sorry, here the name should be changed, so this will be the email. So now click on the send. So the name field is required, email is required, password required, and C password is required. Okay, so just write the name. So just go to the body and go to the raw data and use the JSON. Okay, so we'll pass the JSON array from here. So here we'll write the name. Suppose name is John, and we'll pass the email. So email is john@email.com, john@gmail.com, and password. So basically password is 1234567, and the confirm password should be same. So the confirm password is C password. Okay, so just click on the send button. So it will register a user named john@gmail.com. Okay, so click on the send, and sorry, there is a error in the user model, line number 13. So go to the user model. So here the L should be in caps, and here it will be the tokens, and this will be the same as here. Okay, so now just go to the Postman and click on the send. Okay, so we can see the token is generated. Okay, and if you go to the database, we can see the one user is created. So this is the user created, and if you go to the database, and we can see the OAuth personal access clients. So there is the two records. So basically this record also created. Okay, so now if we want to log in, so what happened? So just go to the Postman again and create another URL for login. So right here login, and create a request, that is request, and we'll create the post. So we'll log in with the username and password. So use the JSON formatted data. So here my login credential is, just copy from here and to remove the name and pass only the email and password. Okay, so click on the send. We can see, sorry, the URL should be changed, that will be the login. Okay, and now click on send. So here the token is generated and the name is passed with this array. So basically the name is coming from this user controller, this section. Actually we are passing the name. Okay, so now the question is how to authorize your URL. Okay, so in our last video we created some links, that is the blog, and there is the menu links inside there. So first we will use this link. So just go to the URL and create another link, that is the get, and we'll use the link that is 127.0.0.0.1 and the API base URL, and the link is the get blog. Okay, so if we click on the get blog, we'll getting some records from the blog table. Okay, so now I want to authorize this, means if the token is valid or if the user logged in, then only it can be seen. So we need to create a middleware. So just go to the routes. So here we will create a middleware and write route middleware, and here we'll write the auth API. Okay, and we'll call the get method. Okay, so just copy from here and write this. Okay, so now it is not accessible without the authentication. So first close this URL and write it and refresh the Postman. So if you click on the send button again, we can see the unauthorized access, that is route login not defined. That means it will searching to login. Okay, so now to access this URL we need to authorized. So recently I logged in and this token is generated. So if we pass this token, we can access this again. So right here, that is pass in the authorization. So click on the barrier token and pass this token. Okay, so now if we click the send button, we can access the block. Okay, so we can understand how we can do this. So if we add all the routes, or if we add any routes which I want to authorize, use this in the auth API middleware, and we can authorize our URL. Okay, so that is all about Laravel passport authentication. So basically this is the OAuth authentication. So if you have any queries about this video, please comment in the below comment section. So basically Laravel passport is easy and you need to follow some steps to achieve this. Okay, so that's all about Laravel passport. So next day we're going to discuss about some another topic with based on Laravel or Laravel API related. So please like and subscribe this channel for upcoming video. Thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.